Um, Hi, good morning. My name is Bilkisu Katago, and I will be facilitating this class today. We are going to be taking business. Okay. We'll be taking business modeling today, or business model, really. Screen. Okay. Uh, okay. Before you can, well, most times when people start businesses, you already have an idea what you want to do. You have, is that a product or service that you actually want to sell. Now you have that in mind already. Now I know already I think you've done the business plan course, but the business plan and business modeling are two different things. Though the business modeling is like it's what it is you're trying to write down how your business will actually operate. It's really just a blueprint of how you're going to run your business. That's what a business model is. It's very crucial for every business owner, no matter how small your business is, to actually have a business model. It gives you clarity. It gives you, at least even if you want to get investors to come and invest in your business, it helps you in a way that, okay, they know you're serious. This is what you're spending your money on. These are the structure of your business. This is how number of people that work in your business. It just gives you, um, as I said, structure. Now, it really refers to a business model is the company's plan to make profit. That's just the basics of it. It's just how you're going to make profit, how you're going to operate, what strategies you're going to take, and what tactics you're going to use for your business. So now it helps you to identify, well, it identifies products and services that you're going to sell, and yeah, and then you have to identify the target market as well. Just having a proper structure, though. Um, the first slide, we're going to define what a business model is. Now, I put three different um, sources there, but in case you want to go back and read it, on the references, I've actually put the reference there too. Now, the first definition is a business model is the holistic and systematic approach to define, create, and analyze a business or an idea. That's by Stakes 2015. Then there's also from Margreta 2002, which says a business model is for her essentially is a story that explains how an enterprise works. Also, we have from a third person, Davis Parsons 2020 says, at its core, your business model is basically a description of how your business will make money. It's an explanation of how you deliver value to your customers at an appropriate cost. Um, so based on what we've read with all of what I've defined all of it is, for example, for Margareta, she explained that how she came about defining the term business model really came about when the internet first came up in the early 2000s. It's just at that moment, that's when most people understood, okay, this I need a proper structure. It's the internet boom really that helped people to coin that term. Most people did not realize what it was, but the advent of computers and the internet made people understand, okay, you actually need a certain model to be able to distinguish yourself from other competitors. Though. You have to create something that is just you that has it. A business plan can, multiple people can kind of have it. A business model has to be unique to your own. It's how um your organization runs. Is unique to you. You're able to. The whole point of it is you have to try and make it that is way that people cannot duplicate it. That's just, and you're able to compete with other business models too. Now, there are three. I hope we have actually read. There's a link on the Elon Ideas Marcelo Rico 2011. If you have gone through it, probably talking about is
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Please let's keep calm, and I think she'll be back online. She'll be back online just in a few seconds. She'll be back online. I think she's having some technical issues. Please, thank you.
okay. Sorry for the break. I had small technical issues. Okay, as I was saying, now there are three characteristics of a business model that for it to be effective and um, good, there are three things you have to consider, three criteria that it actually has to meet. The first one being, does it align with your company goals? That's the one question you need to actually um, answer. Okay. Meaning that the choices you made while designing your business model should be able to cover, so also be able to deliver the consequences that enable an organization deliver its goals. Like whatever decisions you make on when you're designing your business model, it should align with your company goals, your company visions, so that both of them actually meet and you're able to achieve them. Your company objectives, that's the main characteristic of it. If it deviates, more often than not, you may have problems though. In terms of, if maybe you have, for example, I can say you have a certain model for, okay, you have a certain goal that you want to have, maybe a car manufacturer. I know this is a bit different though, but for example, a car manufacturer, you have your model is the car itself. You have a certain design, maybe you're a luxury car, luxurious car. That's what your business goal is, your plan is. But then the kind of car you now decide to manufacture is now substandard. If it doesn't align with, so you now have your idea, your goal is you want to make a luxurious car, but your model itself, what you're actually manufacturing, the product you're selling, is substandard, is not luxurious. There's a problem with who your customers will not want to buy your products. You have a long-term problem. You have issues in terms of selling your market, and in fact, you will not have customers. That's just the worst thing that can happen to you. So the most important thing is make sure whatever goals you have in mind, what vision you have for your company, it actually aligns with what your business model is, what your product or service that you're selling is, so that you know that okay, you're jelly. So in the future, when you're creating in case you want to diversify or go to other, it just flows for you. Your customers know link your two of them, your product, your goal, and your model is your product together. They know that okay, this is from this company, this is what they sell. They are not deviating, and then you get your customers. Now, the second characteristic is it self-reinforcing? Now, this means that when companies are making decisions while creating the model, it should complement the choices they make while creating the model should complement one another. There should be internal consistency. So, is the business model um, consistent with how whatever decisions you're making as a company itself? Sorry. So, for instance, is it gonna? No, okay. There are different choices that you make when you're developing your business model. So, um, it should just be coincide with whatever decisions you are making in terms of your strategy, your tactic. As in, is the model able to deliver what you want, what internally, like, okay, it's flowing with every single aspect of the company itself? That's what if it's self-reinforcing is. The third one is it robust in terms of a good business model should be able to sustain its effectiveness over time by fending off four threats. I'm sure if you read the paper, you know what I'm talking about. Um, the four threats being, the first one is imitation. In terms of imitation, can your competitors actually replicate your business model? If they can't, then you have a problem. The second one being, hold up, can your customers, your suppliers, can they understand or capture the value you're trying to sell? You're trying to sell to them. The third one is there complacency with your organization? Like internally, is everybody complacent? There's a flow. Is there a flow within the organization itself? Okay, no. Yeah, one threat is Slack. Sorry, man, I made a mistake. Organizational complacency, and then the last one is substitution. Though, can new products decrease the value customers perceive in your products or services? So those are four threats that your model will actually have to face, and whatever decisions you make and choices you make, you have to be able to overcome them, though, and make sure that you're able to fend off or manage those threats that come towards you. Now, I think we can go up to the next slide. Now, there are certain pillars that I don't know if anybody is with me or if anybody has any questions for now. You can go ahead.
No questions so far.
If anybody has any questions, you can put it in the chat, I think. Okay. The next thing we're going to discuss is the pillars of a business model. Now, to be able to build a business model actually rests on three pillars. The first one being who. Who means who is your customer, who is your market, who is your the customer segment, your target market, how are you positioning, who are you actually selling that value to? That's the first pillar of it. The second one is what. What's meaning, what are you offering to your customers? What products, what service, what solutions and experiences are you going to sell to them, offer to them? Then the last one being how. How are you going to actually achieve the what itself in terms of how are you going to create value? How are you going to deliver the value and capture the value? So these three aspects are what actually are pillars of the business model. These are the three things that it stands on that makes you what it is. So your business model has to consist of all three aspects of it. You can't leave one. Leaving one will mean the two other ones, there's no point. If you say you don't know who your customer is, why are you offering the product or service? There's no point. You can't actually create the model itself. The model is not there without your customers, without what product or service you're offering or what solution it is. And then the business model does not exist without you stating how you're going to achieve that. That's the whole point of the business model, is stating how a company is going to make profit. So I think we can go over to the next one. Now, with the business model, there are certain templates that you can actually use. I want us to actually go through the templates. So if I explain the different types of business models. Now, the most popular one, it's called the business model canvas. It's like if you have done a business plan, you understand it's like a business plan template, but for a business model though. Now, it actually represents a valuable framework which is used by small and big organizations over the globe. It's very it has to be flexible to be able to alter it to add more value in the future, and then very simple too. Now, it has helped many companies to improve their existing businesses and create new ones, and then develop strategies for the future. For this particular class, I want us to go over, there's a particular model that is being used by a lot of companies. It's designed by Alexander Osterwalder. If you go through the paper, it's actually, there is reference to what the model canvas that he designed. Now, okay. Now, the model canvas, the business model canvas framework has 9 building blocks. Let me show you a sample of the picture itself. This is what it looks like. Well, you can do it how you want to, but generally this is what it is. But then it has to consist of all the what do you call it, different aspects of, sorry, the different elements of it has to be there. Now, the business model, obviously, as we know, as I said, is a structure itself. It's just telling people how, or telling yourself how you're going to run your business. So the first thing, the first element or first building block on your business model canvas is your key partners. Now, let me go through them and then explain further how step by step you can actually do it. So like develop your own. The first element is having key partners. The second one is key activities. You have key resources, value propositions, customer relationships, customer segments, channels, cost structure, and then revenue streams. Now, the first one is key partners. You need to state who your key partners are, who your key suppliers will be, what resources are you going to acquire from them, what key activities do you, now I'm just explaining what it is now, but when you're doing it, you don't start with your key partners or activities. No, you usually come towards the end though, or the middle towards the end. It's like, just think of it as writing your plan as well too. But I just want to go through it then first, and then we'll go step by step how you can actually do it. As I said, for the key partners, you need to state or understand or write down which key activities do your partners perform. Now, key partners, for example, maybe if you have an investor, or you have maybe you have like on your supply chain, it can be your middlemen, it can be your retailers, your partners can be, as I said, the suppliers as well, people that are bringing resources to you. It can be investors too. People is mostly like your stakeholders. That's what your key partners are. Who are people that have stake that actually helping to run your business? Who are those that will actually get you to achieve your goal, to actually get your product from you down to your customer? So stating that will actually give you a clear understand, okay, These are who my partners are. These are who are going to help me. This is what activities I need from them. These are the resources I need from them in able to achieve my goals. Now, the second one is key activities. You need to state what activities, key activities that your value propositions require. Value proposition, what value you are adding, what exactly, what kind of value do you want to sell to your customers in terms of your product or service. So that's what value proposition is. So to be able to achieve that, what activities do you need to carry out to be able to achieve that? Also, you need to state what kind of distribution channel are you going to use. For some, it may be a very long distribution channel. Can be the manufacturer, you have your middlemen. Middlemen can be your wholesaler, and then your retailers, and then down to your customers. Or are you not using a distribution channel? It's possible you just state it's just you're selling directly to your customer itself. It's just you need to state those particular activities. Your customer relationship, how are you going to build up on it? What services are you going to offer them after? Well, how are you going to actually get your customers to? What activities, what plan do you have in place? So what things do you need to do to be able to attract customers and then actually keep them though? Those are key activities. The last one is revenue stream. How are you making your money? How are you going to get more investors? How are you going to actually, put money back into the business to create more, to get more money, to make more profit? That's what revenue streams is. Multiple from as the business model is with the revenue streams, you can start off, okay, this is your plan, this is what you want to do at first, and then subsequently you add to it. The plan, the point of business model is you have to continuously adapt and just how let's explain it. Sorry, is you need to be able to create more value though. It's like create a cycle that brings more money from you for you. As I see most companies like Apple and Microsoft, they find ways and they add to their business model to be able to get to where they are and make all the money they're making now. So they added new streams of revenue. They first started as a computer. They now moved to, you have the iPod, they now have you have the laptop. They moved over to the phone now, which actually makes a lot of their money. And then they continuously improved on the product itself. They have the MacBook, the laptop, and then they have the iPad. So those are revenue streams that they have a vision for. Okay, this is what I need. I'm going to get my money. Now, the next thing is key resources. Now, what key resources being? What resources do you need to that your value proposition requires? Resources being what and how much capital do you require? What kind, as I said, they key into each other. The key partners, key activities, and key resources, they are interlinked with each other. They're not separate entities, no. They all correspond to key resources being what partners do I need? What suppliers do I need? How much capital do I need? Where am I sourcing for those funds? Um, what do I need to get my product to my customers? What resources do you need? Um, the next key resources is in terms of your distribution. Is what I said, the key partners, key activities, and key resources, they flow with each other. So in terms of distribution channel for the key resources, what supplier, what kind of suppliers do I require? Your channel, what do you need to get your products down to your um sub to your customers? Though there's revenue stream as well. What resources do you require to be able to get those multiple streams of income for your company itself, to build up on the business model itself? So that is what the key resources are. Now the fourth one is cost structure. Cost structure being what are the most important and uh, what are the most important things that you need for your business model? Not needs, but cost that will come up on your how let's say cost, sorry, in terms of what things, okay, that is basic in terms of your capital, that is your cost structure, what things that are pressing for you to, that must be in the business model itself, that must be in your cost structure itself. Those are the most important things you actually have to put in terms of, okay, these are the things, this is what I need, in terms of maybe, okay, your people. I'm trying to figure out how to explain it properly though. What are the most important things that are required in the cost of your overall running of your business as a whole? What things are pressing in terms of, okay, maybe if you're a manufacturer, how much do I need for certain appliances or certain equipment? So that's important for you. Maybe, for example, you are a farmer that does is selling rice. What equipment do I need? That is most important there. You need land, first of all. Land, it has to be part of your cost structure. In terms of cost structure is in line with what your not expenses do, but your budget at the end of the day, your capital. It goes under it. What are the most important things that you know that, okay, without those ones, any other thing can be added. Land is one thing. Having a maybe a warehouse too is another cost structure. How much are you going to, having people though that are going to work for you has to be part of your cost. So how much will those things cost? That's are the important things that actually has to be part of your business model though. Now your key resources though, you need to state which one is the most expensive one and which one is the least expensive one. You need to state how much you actually need to be able to for you to be able to acquire those resources and actually creates that value for you to run your business though. Your activities too. You need to stay what is the most expensive thing there for you. How much will it cost for you to actually get, if it's starting to develop, sorry, um, which key activities are more expensive in terms of, okay, to run your distribution channel, do you need very long distribution channel? How many maybe cars do you need? How much would this cost? Just to be able to get your product down to your customer itself, you need to actually state how much you require to um, to actually operate the business. Uh, I don't know if everybody is clear or you have any questions for no. Okay.
Okay,
The next
someone.
thing we're
Okay, I thought you were giving room for questions.
sorry.
Did you asked if there were
Yeah, I'm giving for
questions?
questions. So before I continue, if there's anybody has any question,
Yeah, someone raised
yes.
his hand. So I'll let me check if he's still online. Then I'll call him to make his comment.
Okay. Let me just wait a bit. Let's
Yeah.
see.
Mustafa Kalanwo. Mustafa Okalanwo. Mustafa Okalanwo.
Oh, in case if maybe people have questions and don't want to talk, maybe we can type it on the chat itself, and then I can answer
Yeah, I
the
told him
questions
to
too.
type it, but he has not.
Okay.
And I'm trying to unmute him. Mustafa Okalanwo. Okay, maybe go ahead, please.
Okay, let me just continue when anybody's ready. Okay, the next thing on your business model canvas is value proposition. You need to state what value do you hope to um, deliver to your customers. Value being, okay, this is the product we're selling. How valuable is it for? What exactly are you selling to your customer? It's just a product or service you're stating there. What kind of problem for your customers? Sorry, as I said, okay, let me just start. when you're starting off a business or a business as a whole, more sometimes the whole idea of the business is okay, you're trying to solve a problem. That's for some people. So under these value propositions, you now state, okay, what kind of problem are you trying to solve? If you're not trying to solve a problem, you just state, okay, there is just a, it may not be a gap. You just say, oh, this is the reason why you are offering this product or service. You may not necessarily be trying to solve any problem, but if that is what you're trying to solve, state it there. This is what, this is why I came up with this this thing itself. Sorry, this is why I came up with this particular product or service. It's stating what your value is that you're selling to the customers. Um, Also, the next thing is what kind of product or service are you offering to each customer segment? Now, you may start off a company that wants to offer has different target markets, or maybe different products from different markets. For let me use, for example, there are certain brands of cars. Let's say Mercedes. I'm just using an example. They have different products for different sectors of the market, for different types of customers. They have their old is a luxurious car, we know, but then they have different grades of models. So it's like Toyota as well. Let me use Toyota is easier to use. Toyota is generally most people buy it, yes, but then they have different models for different cars, um, for different customers. Sorry, model grades. You have your normal, you have the Camry, you have the Corolla, which everybody can buy, which appeals to almost all customers. And then they have the expensive ones, so the Highlanders and not the, I know they have other luxurious cars, but then, as I said, they have different models. So at this point, you need to state, okay, what kind of product at different levels are we selling to different customer segments? So what kind of services are we offering after or before it? Then also, the last thing is what kind of customer needs are we satisfying? It's almost the same thing as what kind of problems are you trying to solve for what kind of customer problems are you trying to solve? So what needs are you satisfying for them? What value are you giving to the customer that will actually okay satisfy that need that they have or resolve that problem that they have? So those are things that come over value propositions. The next thing is customer relationships. So this is where you state who your customer is. No, okay, no, sorry. What type of relationships do each customer segment will expect from the value that you're going to give them? How are you going to maintain it? How are you going to attract customers? How are you going to keep them? Like I said, your business model and your business plan, they kind of coincide. They're kind of side by side with each other, but they're different. So that's not, they're not the same. But then there's different topics under it, or different segments under it that are almost the same though. So with this one, you state what type of relationship do you want to build with your customers, or which um, for the different segments that you have, how are you going to maintain them, and then how are you going to, which one do you already have, what kind of customer relationship do you have currently, especially for business. I know for new businesses, you may remove that. You don't have to put the established businesses though. You need to state what relationships you have currently with your customers. How are you going to improve on that? That's what they call you're developing a virtuous cycle. And as we go on, I'll explain what that is. Virtuous cycle is you're trying to create more revenue streams for yourself, more avenues to get to become bigger, to create again, make your market share bigger though. That's what it is. um okay, and then how are you going to integrate these relationships or these aspects into your whole business model though? And then obviously the last and most important thing is how much are you going to spend building those relationships and keeping them? What type of building customer relationships can be, you're talking about what kind of advertising are you going to do, what kind of management techniques are you going to use? What kind of after sales service are you going to utilize? Are you going to keep to be able to keep those customers though to you? How are you going to attract them? Are you going to use those sales promotion techniques? What kind of marketing tools are you going to use to keep to attract your customers and actually keep them? Now you now have to state how much it is that you're going to spend on it. More often than not, it can come under the cost structure. But then if you put it there, it's just easier. Then you can come back and add it to it. So building customer relationships is expensive, but it is crucial. That's what makes your business too. Without the customer, your business will there's nothing there. Now, the next thing is customer segments. So customer segment, they kind of it comes before customer relationships. And I said, oh no, the step when I'm explaining it further in the steps, you understand. Customer segments being when you're writing your business plan or well business model now, you have a product in mind, you have a service in mind. Now, at the beginning of your plan itself, yeah, you've done the what do they call it? The environmental analysis of it. You've seen what threats you have, what strengths you have, and everything. The next thing is narrowing down who your target market is. Now, narrowing down your target market means you have to segment them. Segmentation comes with when you want to segment a market. The market is me and you. It's everybody. It can be a whole country. It can be a state. It can be two streets. Is the people that actually buy the product and service. That's who a market is. Now, under that market, the market can be categorized into different aspects. It can be just one local government area. That can be your market. It can be one state itself. It can be a whole region. It can be southwest. It can be southeast, south, just different regions in Nigeria. That is what the market is. It can be. Now, when you now want to segmentation comes when you want to divide your market according to, okay, maybe by geographical zone, maybe by demographic. For example, you can be selling maybe milk. Who your target market will be is mostly mothers, is family people that you sell. That's who milk brands sell them to. So you're segmenting them. Okay, this is who I'm selling my product to. I've narrowed it down to their age. I've narrowed it down to the gender. I've narrowed it down to the geographical zone, income. That's what segmentation is. So under this part, you now actually have to, you're stating who you're creating that value for. Who is the most important customer for you? As in, yes, you may have different segments, though you can have different types of customers. It may not just be one segment, maybe for different products or services that you're selling. But then you now have to put the most important one there. Who's the one that you know that okay, that will help you build your business, help you're selling for a small business. It's better you just have one segment. So bigger companies have a lot of multiple segments. So as I said, under customer segments, you need to state who you're selling your product or service to. That's important before you actually think of okay, how you're going to attract them and then keep them. The next thing is okay, channels. When we talk about channels, we're talking about the channels of distribution channel, meaning what process or what how are you getting your product from you down to your customer. Um, okay, your distribution channel can be long, it can be short, it can be anyhow you want it. So far, your customers get your product or service. That's the most important thing. So when you're developing the model itself, you need to state, okay, through which channels are your customers going to get your product. Now it depends on whatever product or service you're selling. There are some products that would require a very long distribution channel. Some is very short. If you're selling, maybe you want to sell to other businesses too. The distribution channel is a bit complex than selling to actual consumers. So I want us to make it, there's a the distinction between a customer and the consumer itself. Customer may not be the end user, the consumer can is the end user though. So you now have to know, okay, what kind of product am I selling? That's the first. How am I going to get it to the customer itself? How long do I want it? How short do I want it? Manufacturers like Coca-Cola and Pepsi, they have very long distribution channels. It's not short. They start from them because they're actually manufacturing the goods. And smaller businesses, maybe if you're selling, maybe if it's food, you're a caterer, or you're selling it's cake, you're a baker and stuff, like your distribution channel is shorter, you're selling directly to the consumer itself and giving it to them. It's not long. But companies like Coca-Cola is usually very long. You have your manufacturers, you have their wholesalers, and then you now have the retailers before it actually gets to your customer itself. So you need to state, okay, what channel is it that is going to get to your customer itself? How are you going to reach them? What kind, how being, what transportation methods are you going to use? Are you using cars, trucks to get it to them? Are you using airplane? Are you going by ship? You just state what type of transport that you're going to use to get to, for your product or service to get to your customer itself. Or the customer is actually coming to meet you to get that product or service. You just state that though. Are the channels of your distribution, are they integrated? Integrated being, do they mix with each other though? As in, they actually blend. Do you actually need each channel with each other? Which one? You have to analyze which one actually will work best for you. You don't just pick any type of distribution channel, honestly. Most times it will be too costly for you. So you have to actually choose the one that, okay, well, for now, maybe especially if you're a small business, this is what works for me. And I will just be delivering the product to my customers first, or your consumer first, before you actually build up. We have to choose what works for your product or your service. If you're selling food like a caterer, you can't have a very long distribution channel. It has to be short because the food is perishable. You have to keep in mind what type of product or service you're actually selling to be able to choose what do you call it? What type of channel you're going to utilize. And then which one is the cheapest? When you're running a business, the cheaper most times the better for you. Now it depends on the product. Well, not cheaper, but cost effective though. Which is this thing that I'm using, this channel of distribution am I using? Is it cost effective for me? Can I actually use other alternatives? Can I do it myself instead of actually getting somebody else to do it, or having 2, 3, 4 middlemen in between? Can you shorten it and reach a level that I can actually create that just something be more cost effective for you? I come back to Apple again. Before, they used to sell, there are times that they used to sell their products through retailers though. They now realize that, what's the point of me selling through somebody else when I can open my own shop? So what they now do is set up their stores in different parts of the world. So the customer just comes directly to them instead of having a very long distribution channel. Like, okay, I'm getting very long set of people that before my customers can actually get the product. What if one day the retailer does not have that good or service? But if I'm the one actually having the shop itself, me, the manufacturer, whatever issue it is, the customers can get to me, I can get customer feedback, and it's cost efficient, it's cheaper for them. Using another person, you have to pay them margins, you have to pay them to actually carry your goods there. And as I said, you choose what is most cost efficient for you. Then how are you integrating them with your customer routines in terms of the locations of where the one thing about a channel, it actually has to do with locations too. Are your customers able to access your product or service easily? You don't want a situation whereby you have a channel that is so long that they are not able to even get access to you. Make sure that you are adapting it to your customers, your target market lives. The product should be accessible. That's just it. You need to state, okay, how accessible? Are you opening stores in certain places, or How are you able to, are you going to sell them in retail outlets that are close to who your intended market is? So you need to actually state how you're going to integrate that aspect into the customer's life. Then the last one we have is revenue streams. Um, with revenue streams, you're first of all stating how much you believe your customers will pay for that product or service itself. So you're putting in, okay, the cost of it and how much profit is this? How much you think your customers pay for it, depending on what your product is. How, if you're an established brand or a business on also, how much do they currently pay? Do you want to add on to it? Add extra money to it? If you add on to it, would they be receptive towards it? You have to keep that in mind. How are they currently paying too? Is an option though. What as in terms of maybe the different types of, is it POS, is it cash, the transfers, just understanding how customers are actually paying for your product or service. You know how they prefer to pay for it too as well. You can create alternate options for them. Maybe you can move online to sell your products or say maybe easier for them. Just finding different ways though. And then how much does the extra revenue stream add to your overall revenue though? In terms of, okay, as I said, revenue streams is getting alternate forms of, you're creating extra forms of income though. How much would they um, add, contribute to your overall revenue? How much, is it plenty, is it small, is it cost effective for you? If it's not, if it's actually a liability for you, then you have to analyze it and probably cut it out. But if it's contributing immensely, and then you can continue though. So this is essentially what the business model canvas is. I don't know if anybody has any questions before we go ahead though.
No, none yet. Please
Not
just
yet.
go ahead.
Okay. Um, the next thing I want us to go into is, sorry, how you can fill out your business model canvas. Um, there are different steps for you to start off if you want to actually set up your business model. The first step is naming the purpose of the business. Now, when you start your business, when you start up your business plan, you have vision, you have mission, you have objectives. All right. The okay, no, yeah, is understanding that once you have that in mind, you have a goal in mind that, okay, well, this is what I want to sell. This is a product or service I intend to sell. This is the purpose I want. This is the goal I want to achieve. It helps you to fill out the rest of it. Every other part of your business is just on top. It's not like, oh, you're filling it there. Just when you have the canvas itself on top, you just write, okay, this is my main goal. My main goal being I want to sell this rice to customers. That's what your goal is. That's the purpose of your business. You just want to sell rice. That's it. Now, step two is knowing who your customers and what value you want to add to them. Um, Knowing that, as I said, with the business model canvas, you don't have to follow a key by step. We just, it can be as it comes to you. Maybe as you're writing your business plan, you can just be keying it and just rewriting it though. The second one, as I said, being adding knowing your customers and value proposition. Now, naming the purpose of your business goes under sorry, knowing what your product or service is goes under naming the purpose of your business too. You know, okay, this is the product I want to sell. This is the goal I want to achieve. This is the value I want to add. And then step two being, okay, I have to narrow down who my customers will be. Um, who am I selling it to? What will they benefit from me? As I said, I've explained this in the one before, sorry, when we're discussing the canvas itself, but it's just for you to have an idea um, how you know how to fill it out though. Now the first thing is you do doing your target market, doing a segmentation. targeting them. Okay, segmentation, you now narrow it down to who your target market will be. What value are you going to add to them? You state that also. What you think your customers will get from the product or your service though. Then now when you are writing what your customers are, the first thing you obviously you have an idea. I want to explain it so that you understand better. Okay, you have a group of customers though. Now you now have to indicate if you're segmenting them according to demographic, you state, okay, this is the age group. Demographics being your age, your gender, your location, no, your location, yeah, just certain key things. So you first of all you state what the age group will be. You've done the analysis here first. You state what did they call it? So the age group, their gender, their location. Maybe if you want to segment them according to behavioral characteristics, so you state it do as well. It's just things like that as you write who your customers will be. Then, as I said, value proposition is what value are you going to add to them? What problem or what need are you trying to satisfy though? You now state it there. Okay, you're trying to help them, you're trying to get them access to food though. Food is, yeah, if it's rice that you want to sell, is your value proposition is food. You're selling, no, that's is the value of actually provide is food security. That's what you're stating there. Now, step 3 is your channels and customer relationships. So, sorry, let me add in the value proposition box. You state, you describe exactly what your customers are looking for in your product, and okay, this is what you're actually selling to them. Step 3 being your channels and customer relationships. Under your channels, though, you start off by describing, okay, you have in mind this is the product you're selling rice. Your channel of distribution will be very long. It won't be very short. It won't be a short one. You are the manufacturer yourself behind the farm. You now have to find how you're going to transport the goods or service itself. You may get a middleman or an agent for you. So you state that. You write it down, okay, me, I'm the manufacturer. That's one. The second point is maybe you're getting a middleman. You state it. Who is the middleman itself? Have you gotten the person that will transport it to you? Then thirdly, as I said, I'm using rice as an example. Thirdly, you now state how the cost is getting to the end customer itself. Now, sometimes some people may not want to use middlemen, but you can actually state, okay, you're the one providing, you're doing it straight to your customer itself. Or you can also, if you want to partner with other people, you state that, okay, you're partnering with another person or another agency. It may not be that they are paying them, it's a partnership together. Okay, they are selling your rice to them and then they sell it to the end consumer. Or you actually want to transport it, you have a stall or a shop in a certain city though. You are going to transport you. You can work with somebody or a middleman that can provide you with the transportation to get your product down. So those are the channels. You need to state exactly what it is you're going to what channels you're going to utilize and how much it will cost for you to use them. Now, customer relationships, as I discussed before, you state what value you're going to sell to them. Sorry, yeah, what customers will expect from you, what kind of relationships you have with them already. You just state, even if it's that, okay, for example, you are a car manufacturer. Your whole point is you want to sell, you're solving a problem for a customer, you're providing a need for them. Now, in your customer relationships, in terms of building them, what activities are you going to use, what are you going to do before to be able to get that relationship and maintain it? The activities being, from marketing perspective, this is where marketing comes in place in terms of what kind of maybe advertising are you going to do to attract those customers? What kind of sale promotion techniques, what kind of incentives are you going to give your customers? What kind of is it direct selling? You may not do direct selling though. for them? What kind of after sales services are you going to provide to your customers? If they buy this my car, maybe you can give them in terms of maybe after a year, if they buy it directly from the dealer itself or you, the manufacturer, for the first year, you can come and be servicing at a discounted cost. Those are ways to attract your customers and keep them. Those are the activities you're writing down there. So in this part, maybe when you're writing your plan, your business plan itself, you think of the marketing perspective itself, and then use that to develop this, to develop the customer relationship, like actually key it in. Say, okay, these are my customers, I know who they are. To be able to build the relationship, be able to keep them. What kind of activity? These are the activities I'm going to use in terms of what do you, the product, sorry, attracting them. This is type of advertising I'm going to use, this type of incentives I'm going to give them. Just state those key things there under customer relationships. Then step 4 is keying in your key resources, key activities, and key partners. There are 3 different boxes there. Now, the key resources, you're going to state your people that are going to help in where you're going to get your resources from, and the people, the places. It consists of people, your places, the machines as equipment that you require, what patents you need, what kind of assets you may require, though that will be used weekly, though. It's not like a complete inventory of everything you require, though, but just a list of resources that, okay, that you require for the business to run. So the next thing is, that's the type of things that you state there. The next thing is key activities. Um, Key activities, there are processes and tasks that must be completed in order for your customers to be served. So here you're stating, okay, based on what we did before, your key activities are what value propositions, what activities do you have to be able to provide that value, what things you need to do, your distribution channels, you state it, your customer relationship, your revenue streams. Those are the things you actually stated, the activities that you need to do to be able to get that value, sell that product to your customers. Then stating your key partners, though, you need to state, okay, who your suppliers are, where are you going to get the product or your service itself. Are you doing it by yourself? What do you call it? Yeah, do you need external support? Do you need investors? It's just different things that you need to state there, though. Like I said, stating your key partner, who your stakeholders are, that's who you're going to state there. Then step 5 is your cost structure and revenue streams. As I said, when you're doing your plan itself, it actually comes into play in terms of your writing how much everything is going to cost you. You start off by, okay, you have a budget or you have your capital, you state what your capital is. Then you now, sorry, you're stating your capital, then how much are you going to spend from that capital itself? So those are the things that you state. Revenue streams, to your alternate forms of revenue. This is what I'm going to spend and things like that. So then step 7 is telling a story, though. Okay, no, link step 6, so linking up the boxes and tidying up. So you actually have to link everything. Everything has to link together, though. And not everything is not separate from each other. In terms of, okay, you've checked everything, you have everything in place, and then you're able to start up. You actually can start running the business itself. Then step 7 is you should be able to explain your business model to anybody. That's the whole plan of it. So go through every box to make sure that, okay, you've run through everything that you need, and you're able to explain it to somebody, and the person will be able to understand easily. Especially if you're looking for investors, and just understanding it, and then you need to test everything out. You need to start run it in terms of, okay, this is who I need. If you need to run that, each thing will coincide, will flow with each other. Each box itself, each block will roll it will flow with each other. Not that one will just be. You need to test everything out. When you're starting, when you're doing your business plan, the end part of it is implementation, monitoring, and control. At implementation itself, you implement it, but then you have to monitor and control in terms of, okay, test this thing out to know that it will work. Those suppliers will actually do right by you. Your customers, yes, okay, me restating and these are who I'm targeting, it will work. So just knowing that, okay, running it will help you. And then the last part is designing new versions. As you grow bigger and bigger as a business, you'll be able to how do I explain? Sorry, you'll be able to add on to the business model itself. This is where developing a virtuous cycle comes in place. Virtuous cycle be you're creating more streams of revenue though. Okay, you need extra, you're adding on to it. A business model has to, you have to be able to adapt to um, any situation. So you're continuously improving yourself consistently. That's what step 9 is, designing newer versions of it. So first maybe till you get it right, and then you can add on to it. So those are what the steps in filling out your business model canvas is. I don't know if anybody has any questions before
Yes, someone
we
has a
move on.
question. Let me
Okay.
unmute him. Mr. Anthony Akubo.
Okay.
Mr. Anthony Akubo. I'm trying to unmute.
Hello, good morning.
Good
Yes.
morning. Hi.
Yes, it's in a business that is small scale in nature.
Yes.
And you to maximize profit, is it necessary to go through to have middlemen or to go directly to the
No, for a small
customer?
business, your middleman is not necessary though. In fact, it's more expensive for you. Small business is better you have is just you and straight to be able to, as I said, be more cost effective. Just sell directly to your customer if you know you are able to get through to them. You don't need a middleman. So,
Thank you.
Okay, and the next other thing is that some participants are complaining that they can't hear your voice.
oh, okay. Sorry, I will increase my. Yeah.
That's all
I
for
will
now.
speak louder. Apologies.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, the next thing we'll be discussing is, okay, I know there's this training is for there's agricultural sector and then those normal small businesses. So I actually put two different types of models that I want to recommend for what I've read and researched though, so that I don't give you samples of business models for bigger firms that may not necessarily work for you. Now, Savage 2017 actually recommended these one, two, three, four, like 5 types of business models. Though. The first one being become a marketplace. Now, the example I want to use for you is sorry, give me 1 minute. Becoming a just give me 1 second, please. Okay, let me just go through it. First one, becoming a marketplace. The the second one being focused on customization. Becoming a marketplace, like okay, you can be a middle person from you. Other people can come and sell their goods to, but through you. Example is a small business can be what do they call it? A small key. It can be a supermarket itself. It's small too. It can be a kiosk. It can be a place that other people come to sell their goods and services through you know. Okay, you're supplying, you're the one getting it to their customers. So that's an example of a model that you can use. You don't necessarily have to go big or bigger than that. The next one is focus on customization. Customization being that okay, you're making that product to suit a certain customer itself. That's the type of models. You don't have to. That's what makes you distinct from your what did they your cost your competitors. Then another one is direct sales model. Direct sales model is you're selling directly to the customers itself. You're not using any middleman. You're not using no people in between to sell. But just selling directly to your customers. That's another type of business model. Then providing on-demand services, as maybe on-demand services, for example, can be a caterer, somebody that sells food. This is what the customers are calling you now. Okay, I want this thing. No, no, no. You're selling it to them. It's small. It doesn't have. It's not big. Is you're able to just provide that product to them at the moment they request it. The last one is freemium. Freemium mean you can offer the product itself and then add added incentives to it. Added free incentives though. It's not what did you put? Yeah, it's something small. It's just okay, you have a product itself, but then you're adding an extra incentive with something is free, the incentive itself. So that's another model that you can actually utilize. For the next slide is for business models for agricultural businesses. The first one is a producer organizational model. Now, with that one, just give me 1 second, please. Sorry. Okay, the whole point of that is you have the, the motivation for that is you're trying to access new markets and increase your bargaining power. The whole thing is you have small group, you're cooperating it with what do you call it? You're going in conjunction, you're partnering with other people to get your product to your customer itself. That's what the producer organization model is. It's producer driven though. So you have small associations of cooperatives coming together to actually okay, they bring different things, different resources together, and then sell it to the customer itself. You have the resources that different people can be technical, it can be acquiring more technical, it can be transportation. So it's just getting different people that produce different aspects of whatever industry you're in, not industry, but whatever product you're selling, and then you actually use it to achieve your goals. So that's the type of model that you can utilize. Another one is buyer driven though. Buyer driven model is I'm sorry. Um, I'm having slight issues. Okay. Sorry. Okay. For a buyer-driven models, you're going. How let's say. Sorry.
Meanwhile, please, if you have any questions, drop it in the chat box. If you have
Yes,
any
please.
questions, drop in the chat box or raise your hand electronically, please.
Just
And
having
make sure
slight.
you have also marked your attendance for today.
Apologies for the delay. I'm trying to.
And for another important information, if you know you want to conserve your data, please, you can block your video and use only audio. If you want to conserve your data, kindly block your video and use only the audio.
I just hope that everybody at least is following or understands. Okay, I'll add the slides to the, what did you call it? To the platform itself, so that at least you can view it on your own later. Okay, for the buyer-driven model is almost the same as the producer one too. You're going in conjunction with other middlemen, and then it's just small farmers that are linking together to get across to sell their product or service to the, okay, no, yeah, okay, yeah, the few of you link together and then try and get larger buyers, larger people to buy your product and services. Though, like I said, it's still getting like, it's still the same as producer organization model, but this one is from the buyer's perspective. The few of you are linking together, trying to get a larger corporation or a larger buyer to come and buy your goods. But as I said, that's what most people in the agricultural sector they use, getting trying to get bigger people, larger corporations to buy their products and services. That is um, for that. Then there's also the intermediary model, which is more market oriented and getting local businesses to no, market oriented NGOs though. They help, they link smaller farmers, like for smaller farmers to help them to get to bigger markets. So, or yeah, they just specialize in, okay, the certain NGOs they link up with farmers to help them get their product or service to the customers itself. So I don't know if anybody has any questions for the business
Yes.
models first before I go ahead.
Okay, yes. This question is from Dr. Sam Awolumate. He said, can agricultural business adopt small, medium scale model? Can
Yeah,
agricultural business adopt
businesses.
small, medium scale model?
Like I said, yeah, they can, because if you're starting small, you can actually start from those smaller models itself. You start small to get bigger. Though, yes.
Okay, there's a
Did I
second question.
answer? Okay.
I guess you have. Then there's a second question from Mr. Anthony Akubo. He said,
Okay.
which model should a farmer adopt in a critical situation like lockdown as a result of the COVID-19?
I
Which
think I can
model?
recommend the buyer driven and the intermediary. The intermediary being getting a middle man in between. That's those marketing NGOs though, to help you. actually get bigger buyers though. I feel as if those two models, they can actually help better. Those, just using those type of two models first before you do any other thing on your own. So getting an intermediary will help you a lot, instead of just doing it by yourself. And then using an intermediary, and also I know, okay, just selling within your own locality, because obviously we're in lockdown. Well, we're not really locked down now, but because I know food, we're able to transport, farmers are able to, there was transportation of food during the lockdown too, to an extent. But then now it has been eased out. You can still continue with whatever model you're using. But as I said, using an intermediary too helps a lot. People that are maybe larger buyers that have access to, um, what did you call it? They have proper permission to move around though. So I don't know if I answered the question well. Somebody is asking a question
I
about
guess
accessing the
you said what?
video. No, because I'm looking at the chat and somebody's asking, can they access the video after the class? Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
will be uploaded to the platform. Yes.
Okay.
So,
Okay. I think that's all the questions for now.
okay. Let me go on to competing with other business models now. Based on the paper that was uploaded, now your business model should be able to compete with other ones in terms of, uh, they're like, let's say, there are different strategies that you can follow to be able to compete with other, competing with other business models. If you're able to compete successfully, it means that okay, your customers can act is effective and is good. So there are different ways that you can compete with other different models. The first thing is strengthening your virtuous cycles. Virtuous cycles means, um, creating multiple streams of income for you, or adding to your model itself, adding extra products or services to yourself to be able to create, to increase your market share, make more money. That's what strengthening your virtual cycle is. Yes. Okay, try and make certain choices and make certain decisions that, okay, you're adding to your business model itself, and you're able to increase your share. You're able to increase more profit, maximizing profit, you're getting more customers. So with that, once you're able to strengthen those cycles, the things that actually create extra revenue for you, you can compete properly with other business models and make money. The second one is weakening your competitors' cycles. If you see your competitor is doing something, there are ways that, the whole point is, the whole point of making creating a business is to make money, maximize profit. So if you can weaken your competitors' operations, or what they're doing, or take over, or get, or give, provide extra value that they don't have, all good for you. That's just the whole point of business too. It's just making money. You can't be thinking of, oh, I'm sorry, you can't be thinking of the other person. So your whole point is, okay, create, your model should be able to weaken your competitors. It means you have to be able to make it stand out from the market itself. Then you can also turn your competitors into complements with your business model, in terms of, you can partner with them. Maybe competitors that are bigger. Say, okay, they can, whatever, maybe they have something that's, it can, you should be able to complement your model itself. Maybe partner with them, tell them, okay, this is service, well, let's join hands together. That's why things like maybe mergers and acquisitions come together. You have different competitors coming together, maybe can make them, maybe from weakening them, then you're able to, okay, let me go and meet them, let's join forces. Maybe they have something that you require, come and join them. That's, so a lot of companies do that to, compete with other models who will actually build their brands, who they acquire other businesses, other competitors around them. Just don't just stay in one place and think you is fine. So you can turn your competitors into, um, things, into segments or complements to your business itself. I don't know if no, we still have like 30 minutes. Well, I've kind of come to.
About that. About that.
Sorry?
About that.
Hmm.
Just go
I
ahead.
can
Go
hear.
ahead. Yeah, I said
Oh,
go
okay.
ahead. We have. You said we have like 30 minutes. I said about that.
Yeah, yeah. Because I've kind of come to the end of what maybe we'll just
Okay.
have discussions though. So as I said,
Okay.
a business model actually is a guide, is a structure for you. It helps you understand. Um, it's just about understanding your customers,
No, you can.
customizing your strategies, your goals to them, or your products to them. Um, you have to know who they are, what they want, what problems you see they have, what needs you're trying to satisfy with it. I say your business plan and your um what do you call it? And your business model, they're kind of the same. Now, I wanted to just quickly go through. I didn't add it here, but on if you have the paper open with you, there is a section of the this talking about business model, strategy, and tactics. They are interrelated with each other, yes, but they're different things. I want us to
Okay.
kind of.
Sorry. Please. I didn't know if you can. Someone wants to ask a question.
No problem. Okay.
Dr. Awolumate, please. Your microphone is open.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Your presentation is well appreciated. I've learned a lot that I will personally want to use in my in my farm as
Thank you, sir.
an agriculturist. I'm just thinking that a social entrepreneur complements others, rather than competing with them, the other businesses, because their objective is not purely uh, meant to make profit, as it were, even though they need fund that should come in.
Yes,
Then
sir.
you mentioned also that we can open up and collaborate. How do I ensure that my they're not going to steal my
Your ideas,
my
yeah.
brand, and compromise my value system?
What I've noticed, as in from researching, most people you need airtight contracts, honestly.
Mm.
And I think that's what sometimes we have that problem here is not having proper contract. Even when we're doing partner with family and stuff, you need to have
Mm.
contracts with people stating, okay, this is my intellectual property. If
Mm.
you can patent it as well, if you
Mm.
can, especially if it's unique to you, just make sure you state that you can't, in your contracts has to be airtight for you and protects you though
Mm.
with that person. Okay, this is what the value I'm at, this is partnership, we're coming together. Yes, this is what I'm bringing, this is what you're bringing, but
Mm.
nobody can double
Mm.
cross the other person.
Mm.
So it's just having
So the
that's
legal
one way I
framework,
think of,
the
yeah,
legal framework.
legal framework, a proper contract that protects
Yes.
both parties do, or you
Yes.
especially.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to add this last part, but then I feel as if it's beneficial though, and it will help in understanding a better business model, strategy, and tactics. They are interrelated, but then they are kind of they're unique to each other though. So um, they're interrelated though. Now, as I said, business model is basically the logic of the company, how it operates, how you're creating value to what kind of value you're selling to your competitors as a whole. But the strategy is the plan that you have in place to actually get to actually provide that value itself, or to actually how you're going to run that model as a whole. Then you now have tactic itself. Tactic is normally is always a smaller aspect of it. Is what's your day usually day-to-day operations with that. That's just what tactic is. So they're all under it. It's not they're kind of similar, but I think people tend to, how do I put it, conflate the three of them together. But as I said, started they are separate entities and its own bond. So understanding them will give you a clearer, you know that okay, well, I'm separating. It's not the same thing though. So I don't know if okay, I've added the, as I said, I'll upload the slides to the platform itself so that you can read over the information or the references that I used to
Okay,
on
someone
your
has
own
a
if you
question.
want to. So
Someone has a question. Family.
I said thank you very much for joining me. And
Sent